Pay attention. 94% of meme coin traders in this market keep losing all they have. Yet, meme coin millionaires are being printed every day, every second, and each and every moment we speak right now. Today, these 10 juicy Solana meme coins are preparing for the absolute melt up, sharing from 50x to 150x upside. You have to pay attention now because the entry points are the most important thing in this market. Everyone is scared, and this is exactly where you have to act. Buy the blood. Absolute low cap gems at the end for the most loyal of you. Absolutely no time to waste. Press the like button. Let's get into today's video. First of all, Project89. Guys, I was charting this coin several days back. Look at the support area I just outlined, specifically at $357 million. However, guys, you absolutely have no chance to be buying this week if you don't have the limit order set in advance. There is a link to Axiom. Make sure to sign up through it and use limit orders. This is an insanely great tool you have to use on a daily basis. This is the only way you actually win on this market, because how this thing works, I gave you this level, you set limit buy order somewhere out there, and you are passively up 30%. Most of you would probably be even asleep when this thing would be happening, and you got an insane entry point. You earn profits already. It's up to you. It's your game from there. It's up to you. You can exit at any moment. You can take your initials out at this stage and already have a very small but nice moon back that other people do not have. In terms of what actually happened here further, we got rejected from this level and we got sent around 15% down. Right now we're trying to go back higher. We'll probably spend some time around this resistance. Eventually, I would expect us to go above it. I would not suggest to be buying currently. If you would want to have a good entry point, make sure to enter on the reclaim of this resistance as support. From there, we should be going higher. The next coin on the list worth your attention is Memeless. This is obvious beta play to useless out there. Useless is just in crazy hundreds of millions of market cap, so it's obvious that we would have better plays on the market. What we have seen is a classic correction of 83% that most of Solana meme coins are actually experiencing. One pro tip as well, if there is a volume on the coin and if actually it corrects 80%, usually that's a very nice time to buy. The other pro tip as well is that if you see that the liquidity on the coin is very small, like $200,000, right, and the volume is 12 million, what is actually happening is that you are getting farmed. It means that a bunch of supply is essentially controlled by one party and they are selling into the buy volume and they are creating this buy volume on the coin essentially as well. Should you not be buying these coins? Well, it's up to you. It's also a thing that a lot of these coins, they are pumping over time, they're increasing the market caps. So what you should be doing with these type of coins is try to diminish your risks as much as you can, which means the way you can essentially diminish and decrease your risks, be entering at the best possible entry points out there. So after an 80% corrections, as we can see here, we're definitely coiling up currently in terms of the current move for this coin at this stage. Now I would expect the continuation of the move up if the people who bundle this coin won't decide to run, and if they would essentially decide to push it slightly higher from here. I won't say that the current entry point is ideal. Also, it's not a very bad one. Somewhere around 1.5, $1.2 million in market cap is essentially ideal. My point of view, you should set some buy limit orders for that, because as you can see, we had a week here into this area where we have couple small wicks here into this area as well. Generally, it's a very good buy entry zone to enter. Next thing we have on the list is Shiyo, which is up 145% at this stage. Guys, I was reading some of your comments is that by the time the video was actually published, Shiyo was already 400k market cap, despite the fact in the video I'm actually talking about it at 200k market cap, so it's just a nice 2x. The issue there is that on YouTube I can only provide you with updates once in 24 hours. I cannot provide you with updates on time. In order to do that, I would have to have a different way to communicate, to talk to you, which is going to be my private group. In order to join it, it will be absolutely free. The only thing you have to do is sign up through Axiom in the link below and do at least one trade. at least one, right? But in general, I would like to keep it very, very small, and I would like to focus on real traders, on real people who are out there on the market. So the more you trade on Axiom using the link below in the description, the higher the chance that you would essentially be added into this group. The parabola pattern is the one you have to respect the most in crypto, because it's very emotional space, and when something is pumping, it pumps hard. In general, the best entry point into coins are the ones where you're actually close to parabola. As of now, as we see on the chart, and as it essentially was at $350,000 market cap. At the same time, it doesn't mean we cannot go sideways and print some more price action at these levels, which we definitely might be doing, which just would make our parabola wider, because right now the chart is only hourly time frame, therefore it might take some time for consolidate around these levels. I would say the entry point, your entry point might be around these levels. If we're dropping below $400,000 in terms of the market cap, probably go slightly lower than 350, so that might be your point for re-entry into this project. Digen AI is something I was also charting support zones for. Just look how interestingly these charts are actually moving, right? We just had a week with the chart touching slowly for a very, very brief period of time this exact level. That's why, guys, again, I'm saying you just have to have limit buys, limit orders. Like, there is absolutely no way you can be getting good entry points into these meme coins if you don't have buy limit orders. And this is the only way with these meme coins to consistently win, is to consistently work with limit orders. No FOMO, no nothing, just clearly seeing the levels, setting up in advance, and essentially once the limit order hit, setting up in advance the selling strategy as well. This is the only way to win. It removes all the friction, removes all the motion, because if you are receiving these dopamine hits and all this stuff and it's exciting, guys, you are not trading, you are gambling. And gamblers over time, they lose. You have to have the edge, you have to have proper system in place, you have to remove emotions as much as you can from the whole thing. With the naked eye, you can also see that we are kind of entering a parabola structure right there. And what we also see on this chart is that this resistance area, we got rejected once, twice here, 3 times. 4 times we get rejected through this resistance area, which definitely tells us that from one point of view, it's a very, very strong resistance. From the second point of view, the more attempts we essentially make to break out from resistance, the higher the chance we would eventually break out from it. So again, I would just suggest to be buying the closer we are to parabola in the future. So maybe somewhere the area in between $10 to $11 million might be a nice entry point, but again, from my point of view, it might be a bit risky. I would be buying on the reclaim of this level as a support. So once we are above, once we essentially confirm and tap it one more time that this resistance actually became a support, this is exactly where I would be entering for another move up. APC, American Party coin, Solana knockoff on American Party coin, which is pumping like crazy, absolutely insane on Ethereum. This one is a new one, it's just 2 days old, so I would be quite cautious in terms of this one. The ideal setup for you is essentially to wait for 80% correction and try to be entering somewhere right there, 400k, right? Somewhere around that. If not, I would not even be looking into this thing. Just set a limit order, just forget about the whole thing. Unstable coin, also a funny thing that makes fun of the stable coins in the market because everyone talks about them and things like that. Unfortunately, I do not see the breakout of the new all-time high at these levels. I feel like we should be entering some more consolidation for these coins. So let's actually check out some levels on this thing. It's clearly seen that we have this range right here, right, which we've been in and which we are going through. So we kind of try to break out through it, and now is the time for the whole chart to actually confirm that we broke through the range. So the ideal setup would be to consolidate around this level. I would say once we are consolidating here, you might be entering, you just might be buying a spot bag for this coin. Once we break down to the top of the range, I think you should dump the whole thing and wait to actually buy at the bottom of the range. This is how I would essentially be buying this coin. And then if you're buying at the bottom of the range, something you might actually expecting is that eventually this coin will be breaking out, and eventually if it will be properly breaking out from this range, it actually would go to new all-time high. So we can check the amount of gains that would be made there, somewhere around 2.5x at least, which is very nice. If it's squeeze size, you can just buy and hold. And again, guys, most of the money in meme coins are being made within this place. When you can identify nice entry point, buy with size and hold, you outperform 99% of meme coin traders. You don't have to be there at your screen for 24 hours every day, right? Next thing on the list is Monke. Very interesting chart formation. And this chart formation is present on a bunch of coins out there. So we have the first pump right here. We reach the first dumpage area, right? And then we usually retest and we create the second bottom. Sometimes we create the second bottom lower. Sometimes it's around the same levels, right? So in general, when you see this consolidation around the second bottom, that's always a very nice and very great time to buy. Again, with naked eyes, guys, you can see that we are printing a cup and handle pattern on this thing. We should be somewhere around the bottom of the handle, so I would say it's actually a pretty good entry point. The key level to break out is somewhere around $2.7 million. Once we are above 100%, we're going to new all-time highs, which is more than $6 million, which would essentially mean that from these levels you would get somewhere around 2.2x very conservatively, because it's just previous all-time high, but we are likely going to new all-time highs once we are there. So if you are more on the risky side, you may be entering currently because we are somewhere at the bottom of the handle. In general, it's a good entry point. If you want to play it safe, you wait until we reclaim this resistance and support, you enter somewhere right here, and you would just have more confidence. If you're on a very cautious side, and if you don't want to even enter here, if you would say that it's not enough upside for me, what you would want to do is set limit orders at the bottom of this range. In case we would be revisiting there, you would have an insanely good entry point. Hard to say, very hard to say that we will be back here. I would say many players on the market, they would be hunting for this entry point, and that's why most likely we won't be going there. So maybe somewhere around $1.6 million we can revisit. I hope I provided you with the full overview on how I would be trading this coin, again with the limit orders. Dog Invest. Unfortunately, what we have seen on this chart is that the level I was essentially sharing, we broke down through it. In this case, usually you should just be dumping the whole thing, because you can also see we broke through the level, right? And eventually we did a correction of 80%, which is natural for meme coins, but again, you don't want to hold your bags once we are breaking down through these core support levels on the charts, right? Because usually it means that the buyers are weak, early whales are selling, and nothing is happening for this coin. It's a question if big players are still in this coin, right? But we can clearly see this range that we are trading at this stage. We tapped the top of the range. Maybe what we are seeing currently is actually the reclaim of the top of the range as a support. We are reclaiming resistance as support, which means that currently is actually the ideal entry point, and is that most likely if we're in this scenario, we should be going to new all-time highs, which is pretty nice from here. It's a 5x movement from here, which you kind of can also be entering with size, because the market cap of this coin is $1.9 million out there. So I would actually be looking to be entering currently and set up some limit buy somewhere around $1.9 million in market cap for this coin. So each and every time we retap this range as well. So if we would be essentially consolidating around here, each and every time we retap, you would be feeling more and more limit buys. Last but not least, absolutely insane chart, guys. Like, I cannot even tell like I'm sharing you with this, because this is a pure ideal chart formation in terms of the ideal entry. You have this one bottom and you have the same bottom here, which is slightly lower. This is exact bottom formation that we have seen on the Monke before it pumped like crazy. This is our coin. This is a very interesting coin. They have very good content. I would say it's very natural to crypto space essentially as well, right? Because it's a lot of these things that are happening in this space. If it's not dragging right now, is essentially the best time to buy. Maybe I would actually buy some myself after I would record this video. This is the whole overview for today. Let me know if I actually have to look into something you're holding, and share the thesis of why you're holding something, because some people might see it, some people might like it, and you never know the people who are watching this content. Some of them are whales, some of them have very good communities, and they, if they like the coin, can actually be buying insights and pushing it themselves as well. Thank you very much for watching this one. Stay healthy and rich. I shall be seeing you tomorrow. Bye bye.